everybody. Thanks for coming to the Techa Monkey Logic podcast, episode 3 now. And we want to welcome our guests, Tony and Laura. And you know who we are, so we're just going to get right to it.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Tony and Laura, did you want to just give yourself a quick introduction for the people who may not know who you are on the YouTube space?
Sure. Hi. Yeah, my name is Tony Rose. I've been working in tech for about 20 plus years. Always kind of emerging tech. Probably my LinkedIn is a good way to see like all the. I don't want to go on like an hour long. All of my adventures in SMS and payments and blockchain and identity. But here I am playing around with AI music videos. Laura, we've been on a bunch of adventures over the past several years in tech, so I'll let her kind of share some of that. Right now, one of the things we're having fun with is the AI music video show, which kind of gave me an excuse to go buy a bunch of new toys to play with video. So,
Yes, so hi, I'm Laura Bertoni, and I'm very new to the tech world. So it's been quite an adventure, like Tony said. But my background is finance. I've been 20 plus years in a community college running auxiliary services. So I have um, print shop and retail in my background. But again, this whole technology is very new. Started with just buying ADA to buying NFTs to creating NFTs and getting scholarships, funding a scholarship treasury from it. And then we went into Dowgen, which was our AI, or yes, our avatar characters, and now we're doing videos and music, and it's
So what
yeah,
would you guys
it's
say would it be like what you guys kind of got into this like this year at some point?
by this,
Yeah.
you mean AI? Sure. So pretty much when the wave started, when GPT 3.5, right? I think was the the thing that really lit the
Yeah.
fuse, right? So from there, like the timing was interesting. I actually had a DJ gig at a film festival, and they wanted my DJ name, and I didn't have one, so my kids came up with DJ Squircle, and I was like,
That's
okay, yeah,
amazing.
why not? But then ChatGPT, I didn't really know what to ask it, so I was actually kind of looking for a new book to read. Um, so I was like, well, maybe I'll write my own book about DJ Squircle. This, who is DJ Squircle, and it sort of went from there. But I've used it for everything from writing proposals to my role as a head of product, working on all the various assets you need as a product manager. Um, but then writing code, so I got into LangChain and I wrote a whole bunch of tutorials um, on some Cardano
Oh,
project
nice.
platforms, but also just on our Substack. So our Substack has some tutorials on LangChain, so I did a pretty deep dive on that. But as Laura mentioned, we had this idea of building, characters. So we kind of created this DAO website and said, well, why don't we create a little tool for building
Yeah.
characters? Because one of the things about getting consistent characters is you need a bunch of the same ones. So that's kind of what DAOgen is. It's a place to show off your, consistent characters you're developing. But then we started seeing, really, it was Ben Nash, right? He was doing that music video of the day, and it was mind blowing, like the qualities. So I knew video would eventually kind of get there, but that was to me a pretty significant turning point where it seemed that creative people and musicians would be able to start doing really interesting things. So I actually had a DJ gig kind of coming up. This DJ Squircle thing sort of took on a little bit of a life, so I'm running with it. But we were playing up in Point Arena at a Dia de los Muertos party, and I was like, I just want to throw in video with what I'm doing, and so I asked Ben. I said, hey, can I just download a bunch of your stuff, and try and figure out how to, the video mixing thing can't be that hard, especially have really cool video content. Um, so that was what, a month ago or
yeah.
6 weeks. Um, but it just sort of snowballed from there. We wanted to
The reason I asked that question
create a
is
little
because everybody we've had, the timeline has been pretty much the same. Like everybody just got on that surfboard just at the same time, almost. Even Neuroframe's launch was right about that time. I was like, yeah,
I
go
can
ahead.
tell you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say I can tell you the exact day
Go
that I
ahead, tell.
started. It was January 18th, 2023. That's when I first jumped onto Discord to get onto Midjourney. And so it tells you like the day you start.
January.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's when we started creating DJ Squircle and Luna Vega. So that's when we started creating these characters, these
Yeah, Midjourney
avatars.
had their foot in pretty early.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel
Yeah.
It's been
at the end of the year now?
Yeah.
How do you feel with this anniversary coming up then?
Yeah.
The progress from
I'm excited. I'm so excited that like all this has happened in this year, starting in January with Midjourney, how it's evolved. And like, I mean, it's crazy because I started creating these avatars, and it was so difficult to get exactly what I wanted. For Midjourney, and it's just gotten a little bit easier and easier. And then these videos and how you can control what's coming. I get really excited, so I'm really excited to see what
I
next
will
year looks
agree.
like.
The control and the customization has exponentially evolved. I completely got into it around end of April. Before that, I was just checking stuff out. ChatGPT was one of the things, but I was all over Kyber. I mean, Kyber devs were asking me, "How are you doing this?" I was making like animation through there. I mean, it wasn't built for that. So I was just determined. When I saw that, I'm like, I'm gonna make animation. And yeah, and now they're like, I mean, I told them, hey, if you come up with stable diffusion and you can give me a UI where I could control, I'll come back. Yeah, I mean, they got a niche, and a lot of people use it. I mean, it's a simple UI. A lot of people don't want to mess with too much stuff. They just want to put a prompt in and go from there. That's there's a market for that. But I think
it is so early on the UI. I mean,
it is what it is. It's just like click, 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 and just keep your fingers crossed. But even then, I was like really, I was raising my chances of getting something good. Let's just put it that way. The way I was application with it, and but Neuroframes, I think when he relaunched it, I saw it on Feature Tools because I kept my eye on it because that was the place. He was Feature Tools. He was updating faster than anybody, so I kept up with it. And as soon as I saw it, the first time I went in, I was like, "This is it. This is it." Because I've used video editors and everything. I'm like, he knows what he's doing. And once I started using it, I was kind of like very surprised how Nikolai actually had a pre-thought, for a lot of the stuff, because that really touched a lot of my buttons. I was like, yeah, he definitely knows what he's doing. And here we are now. I just made I think you guys probably saw it. I made a speech animation through it.
No, I haven't seen that one
yet. She smiles too in the dialogue when I tell her to smile.
Oh,
yeah.
I did see it.
Oh, was that the one we played on Friday?
No. This
one,
like
it just came out. Yeah.
Her face move like it's almost.
So
like
basically, I had her in the dialogue saying like the bossman told me to smile when I'm talking about this, and when she says the word smile, she has a smile on her face. So that was a little flex move I put in there, but no, it's his modulation for audio reactivity is very good, and that's the reason she dialogued real well on it, because I used the actual audio to modulate. I did put the tutorial in the tutorial section, so you guys check out
the.
I did see that. Someone, you had said something about how to get the lips to move.
Yeah, it's I think the third, fourth time I do it is just going to be down pat, because I have the blueprint. It's just like, just working with it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and now we can copy and paste those blueprints as well, which is nice. Nice new update.
I,
This is turning into an Northwest
you guys
commercial,
have
but
probably seen
it's exciting stuff.
DID, where they do the lip sync with a static image. It's just a static image, and they do the lip motion DID. That was real popular. I
Yes.
mean, still is. The whole thing for me was, okay, the body isn't moving. I don't want it. I just don't want the lips to move. I need the motion. So
Isn't it? Isn't it amazing the evolution that AI is coming into is so mimicking how AI or how animation was from the past, right? How did they used to do old talking back in like the original movies? They would make lips move without the bodies moving, and it looked weird. But that's just how we did it back then, with a guy playing piano right there in the theater. Like AI is kind of going on this like similar journey, just like hyperspeed. Because now with neural frames, it's able to do it more so in that natural animation state. The frames are getting even better. I think it was you or CSAI on Discord. I can't remember who posted like this black and white skull thing. You guys, I know you guys featured it on one of your music video
yeah, it
shows.
was Scott.
I can't remember who did
Yeah,
it. Was it Scott? Okay,
Yeah,
so
it was
when
Scott.
Scott made that,
yeah,
Mhm.
Scott.
it looked so smooth, but like
Mhm.
I could tell it was flickering. But the way that he used the bright colors to kind of accentuate it really just unlocked in my brain that you just literally have to think like an animator, and then all of a sudden this stuff starts becoming
Well, do you know the story behind that artwork?
no.
So Scott was an artist that was doing, I think, reasonably well with some releases of his own work as NFT collections. And so he was releasing this artwork he made that was all a bunch of different skulls. And so then he made a custom model. That's why a lot of his videos are like all these variations of skulls and different things like that.
Dang, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, if you
There's a lot of artists I'm trying to convince to do stuff like that right now, but they're kind of scared to try. It's so crazy. I know so many artists like locally or
Mhm.
like around me that are just kind of shy to use this kind of stuff, and I'm like, oh my god, you would make my own stuff look horrible compared to like what you guys could probably pop off with. You know what I mean? Um,
That's part of the reason why the motivation to do like a weekly music video show kind of was like let's create a platform to showcase like what is really incredible and most people just maybe never heard of it or saw it. um I think I'm getting some feedback because when I show this to in the Bay Area where I am, there's a lot of independent electronic music
mhm.
producers and bands, and I've never had anyone say no. Like whenever I meet someone that's a friend that's got music in their, as a hobby or whatever it is, wait a minute, I can have a music
Yeah,
video now.
right. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
Right?
literally.
Like,
No, literally. That's I
I
can
think
relate.
it's just a matter of time and getting the word out, letting more people see it, and then when you try it, it's so much fun.
It is a
Right?
lot of fun. It's become. I
But I
used to have a
think
life
we were
before just
actually at
those.
yeah. We were last night in San Francisco. They had a like AI tinkerers meetup, and the CEO of Replit was giving a talk. And one of the points he made, coming from his perspective of developer tooling, being Replit what it is, was we haven't even really scratched the surface on the tooling aspect, the user workflow aspects of this, meaning videos that are coming out without post production, you can kind of tell. But when someone does post production work and just levels up, you can really start to see
hmm
the difference in the work. And I think that's also why even we're on week 5. I think we're coming up on week 5, and the difference week
oh
by
no,
week is
I mean,
is
I've
incredible.
seen
You know,
all the shows, and yeah, it's you're got the finesse going, just polishing every time.
oh, it's so embarrassing.
Yes.
No, I'll tell you honestly,
It's so rough the first
because
couple.
I look at my videos the same way, but I think it's also the platform. I think the platform you guys are on now um, is better, and I think it was a platform prior was also a disadvantage how everything was getting managed because you had good stuff, but the platform wasn't delivering. So I think,
It's tricky because what I want to capture is that really casual Twitter Spaces vibe, where if an artist has a work and it's like, "Hey, come on the show," it's like, "Oh yeah, click," and they're come on stage. Um, but that didn't work. We tried it, but we have this roadcaster, and in theory, it should work because I can connect with Bluetooth to the Twitter
Mhm.
space, and it mostly works. But there were so many glitches, and so many of the guests had had challenges. I haven't seen a a broadcasting platform yet that offers both like interactive voice
Right.
chat, like a Twitter space, plus. And did you guys ever see Mystery Science
Yes.
Theater 3000? So like honestly, like that's what we're going for. Like, but we want everyone to be able to come in and be like the robots talking about like.
That is actually, if you guys pull even like 50% of it off, it's a sell. Because I know what you're talking about, and I'm now my brain's kind of thinking how you can implement it now. I'll give it some thought and give you some ideas.
It's like the watch
Yeah.
party vibe, right? It's like it's not so serious. It's like, hey, like everyone's making all this stuff. Just let's get in there, let's throw it up. How did you make that? Oh, that's cool. Let's okay, like next. And oh, so like Twitter Spaces do that. They have this like really organic vibe to them that I'm gonna keep trying with Twitter to see if maybe there's a way to get that to work. But it's just now that I have the mixer and I'm starting to figure out how this mixer works too.
If
It's just mixing in a Twitter space into
Yeah,
the broadcast
that's what I was gonna say. You can stream it off a different platform and have the people come in the Twitter space and have just that part, go with the stream.
That's what
Yeah.
we did. That's what we did. But the challenge we're having is watching while being on Twitter on the same device. So if everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, I'll just be on Twitter on my phone and like watch on my computer," like it would totally work. But like that's not what people do, right? Like, "Oh well, and then they get disconnected from the Twitter." So,
Yeah, that's true.
And so you want it to be a voice chat watch party specifically, not text based?
so what we're doing now to try and recreate that is Discord voice is quite good. The other challenge with Twitter is if you're playing music, even the audio from the videos through Twitter's compression is meant for voice. It's similar to like telephone compression.
Yeah.
You're just not going to get it. But Discord sounds really solid. So I think what we may do is have the watch. What we've done for the past couple test runs is the watch party in a Discord voice chat, and then mixing that into the signal going out to Kick, and so people can watch it and sort of get that sit back and watch the people talk about the cool videos, or if they want to come in and join, they go into the Discord.
Yeah, I'm getting it to make it seamless, like not have issues when people just come in. Everything just keeps, especially the audio is the key. You want to have the conversation going.
Well, Dr. Otaku, I'll share some of the work with you because my producer name back then was Dr. Nog.
Oh, nice. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I had this like mad scientist persona.
Yeah,
So
if you see some of my like icons that I use for the channel, it's all like a crazy guy like on a computer, like his hair's all poofy, like but
yeah,
but yeah, no, I mean, when I was a kid, this is the way I can relate to all this. When I was a kid, the first time I ever got access to a computer, I was 10 years old, and I discovered the Windows Clip Studio, like the first video editor that was just like free that came with your computer. And so then I got into something that they called AMVs back in the day, which was
Mhm.
just anime music videos, where you ripped the music, you ripped clips of anime, you did all this editing and slideshow stuff to
wow,
make these like music videos on animes that you like. So that's all I did when I was a kid, like spending time. And then I moved on from it, did other things, and then it's just so funny coming back here now, almost 30 years old,
yeah.
and
I never heard
You're
of
a baby.
and
AMV,
then
but it's
and then doing this. But I'm doing it. What I'm doing on my channel is basically AMVs, but it's original now
okay.
instead of copies of stuff. It's like all unique now.
You
Oh, that's
know,
very
No, dude,
cool.
it's it's
That's
like
really
a
interesting.
really crazy moment for me in my life to like be doing stuff like this.
so he actually made 5 original tracks for the White series, for my series for the channel. And one of the tracks got picked up by a Brazilian radio station. So
Yeah,
yeah,
internet,
Wow.
internet
yeah,
radio.
And there,
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
that track was like the one, like the whole team that was working on White, when we heard it, we were like, okay, that's really good. We are just like right away, we said, this is excellent. And I wasn't surprised when I saw that. I was like, yeah, he's he has the talent. It's just I had to get him in the mood, basically.
yeah.
What do you use to reduce?
Everything.
What,
But my main DAW is Ableton. Like I use MIDI
okay.
files, like audio and everything, and then I use that's my main DAW to like organize it all the million plugins, Lander, which is another like fantastic mastering tool, all of it. Just like whatever I can get my hands on
Mhm.
and applies for the situation. But I mean, I'm going through this like transformative era because the whole time I've been learning music, which has just been like by looking stuff up online. ChatGPT, holy crap, amazing teacher.
Mhm, mhm.
But I was focusing on like composing notes specifically on a MIDI roll, like that kind of thing. But now I've been like
Mhm.
meeting other artists on the Discord channels, people like you doing all this like weird music. Like it's just weird, right? It's just like these are just like sounds being bent and thrown around everywhere. And I was like, okay, I kind of want to do that. So now I'm learning that side of it. You know what I mean? So some stuff to come out soon. Hopefully, it'll be fun. I'm in my experimental
Cool,
Beatles
cool.
phase.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, no, I will share with you some of my stuff from back in the day because it was, I mean, probably it was experimental noise
I
is
love stuff like
the
that.
genre. Yeah,
There's this thing I'll send
but I was
you.
building my own analog synthesizers,
Oh
so
my god.
you know, um, and then you get these soldering kits and you build them, and I'm not quite sure what sound it was supposed to make, but I'm sure it wasn't that.
No, that's amazing.
So even if you put something out at 120 and the song is 123, it's trivial to like move it.
Yeah, what you're fucking doing.
Well, a couple years ago, I was like, well, I'm just gonna focus on DJing because I was trying to do it all. So I restarted from scratch, like the DJing, and same thing. It's like so much harder than you realize just to mix track to
Yeah.
track to track. You know.
Yeah, I mean, but it's just like the more you keep doing it, like it's been getting easier for me,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely,
and it feels good. Like,
but start smaller,
yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, and music has been the driving force behind like all this stuff. So
mhm.
it's hard for me to like not think about music like first when going at neural frames, and I know that's not how everybody's like doing it, but I don't know. I'm having a hard time separating the music from like the animation side, and I'm trying to find like this balance. And you were talking about post production, so I've been experimenting with like getting more familiar with like editing tools. So that's a whole other beast of like learning. Um, so I'm
Mhm.
also warming up those
Yeah.
skills as well. Been getting a little bit better, but still got a lot to go.
I am like super happy with Resolume.
Resolume, I use DaVinci. I'm not sure if that's like the same.
Resolume lets me do like live performance.
Oh no, I know what you're talking about. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. But also when you're wanting to put it to music, it's the only tool I've found that lets me stretch the video to match the tempo. Here, look. Let me do a little test.
Uh-huh.
So here, let me show you since you said that. Because here's what I've been having fun with. So here, because from all my days of like trying to produce music, where'd you guys go? Now I lost you.
We're here. We're just hiding.
Oh yeah, there you are. So I have like all this MIDI gear like in my garage. So I've been pulling it out, and so this is quite cool with Resolume because each one of these maps to a different video loop, and I can press a button and I get like basically six of this, and each one is a button plus an infinite knob. Um, so once the loops are set to the tempo and have a song going, if I just launch the loop on the beat, boom, like it'll So like I'll just do a quick little show of it. So yeah, so it's quite cool. But I won't continue to bore you, but we'll send you some of the stuff after the show for sure. Did you want me to play your stuff? Play the ones you're talking about? I can do that.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me pull them up.
And because he's working with my videos to music, it like takes away a lot of the pressure to have them all like perfect because he's able to clip them and mix them with the music. So it's kind of nice.
That.
Yeah. So this is Zoe Osteen, our PR and media director, AI assistant that we're building. So right now she has a whole story, but when we were experimenting a lot with what was the orchestration? Lang chain. So with Lang chain, we started building these agents and experimenting with like Auto GPT and those frameworks that let you start to have GPTs that are doing decision making um, and completing tasks and things of that nature. So the idea we had with the first three was Zoe would be a PR media director, and like the task that a PR media director does is kind of analyzing information in the market, right? So here's a list of competitors or whatever it is, and just sort of keep us up to date. And the original idea with Dowjin was like a storytelling sort of environment. So she would observe the stories that were going on and sort of report out to Twitter or report out to. And these are the kinds of tasks that a GPT in any organization could be quite handy, right? Sort of PR and media kind of things. We also created Falcon A Quest FAQ
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
like a support agent. And those are sort of the two we're going to kind of that we thought would be really interesting, like GPT projects to work on. And because I think that the tech is going to be so
Oh, it
ubiquitous
is.
that you want to just have your own agents running on open source stuff in your living room. Like ultimately, I think that's what you want for your GPT
I
assistant.
was actually looking at
So that's kind of the direction we're going with, like exploring like how.
this.
Yeah.
No, but they're interesting times. I'm very very ecstatic.
What are you guys looking forward to for this next year? Now you're starting your anniversary, moving into January. What do you want next January to look like when it comes to your stories and
I
everything?
think all bets are off for 2024. I'm keeping a super open mind, and I'm acknowledging to myself on a regular basis that it's going to be impossible to keep up. So, kind of find the things to work on that will allow you to keep up, or that's sort of my conversation with myself. Um, so, video and consistent characters and getting motion and better storytelling. I think the logic capabilities that Q Star seems to maybe be hinting at, if that gets good on the same curve that LLMs have gotten good better, um, that kind of potential is mind boggling, really. They talk about applying it to things like foundational physics and things of that nature. So for me, I think um, what I'm noticing is, and you were talking about it today, Doctor Otaku. It's for the creative person, you can now do the things that you wanted to do, but needed a little help and guidance.
Yep.
Whether it's making music, writing business plans, making videos, writing a screenplay. Like we all have now the benefit of a coach who kind of has the compendium of human knowledge, sort of that's been digitized, right? Like at his fingertips. So a lot of it is asking the right questions. So I really love the take that someone had on Twitter Space yesterday about how this technology is really improving, like people that are working with it. It's actually improving their creativity.
Oh yes.
Right, the creativity is actually the muscle. The creativity muscles increasing because the generative technology isn't doing the creativity for you. It's giving you lots of
It's just a
options.
calculator.
It's
Just like
definitely
how you do math
yeah.
quickly with a calculator, because it's just a lot of numbers to spew out, but we can do the quick steps to get the number that we need to move forward with our bigger math problem.
And I don't know what the doomers are calling themselves
Oh
now.
my
Whatever,
god.
man. But that's what I'm saying. Like I see these patterns. It's just amazing because it's like super fast forward right now when it comes to the AI version of all this. It's just like the amount of stuff you would read about like 20 years of a historical time period is happening in like 6 months. It's crazy.
But what you're really talking about is the power of memes, right?
Well, yeah, but I
Because
mean, but memes
getting
have been around since like forever, right? And that's why they've been around since
but
forever.
a religion is a meme in a sense, right? If you think about it that way,
Sorry, can you say that again?
like a religion is a meme in
Oh
a
yeah,
sense,
no,
right?
exactly,
It's
yeah.
this idea of memes is thought, viruses that,
Hmm.
that move around.
Yeah, no, I mean, one of the most common ones I hear is like the effect that it's going to have on artists, right? This is going to put people away from working on art because other artists are able to use AI images, for example, right? But the thing I always reference is okay, so the alternative world that you would believe is just is that those same people who are now making things online because they have AI tools prior to AI coming into their lives would have just done nothing. So you're saying it's better for those artists themselves who didn't have access to money, income, essentially do nothing, versus the world that they're living in today, which is they're doing all sorts of stuff. Are they affecting other people? Maybe, maybe not. Most likely not, because I mean, I still see people doing like stick figure puppet shows and like making money doing it, and like that's been around for hundreds of years. So I mean, I feel like everything is just going to be happening all at once, and people are going to like what they like, you know. But I could be naive. You guys been seeing a lot of like this low code or no code talk on like products, like oh, take this no code course, low code this. Like, have you seen those tags or buzzwords on like ads recently on like LinkedIn, for example? Anything like that?
I've seen it a lot for the
Oh,
language models.
I've definitely seen a lot of low
Yeah,
code.
I've seen a lot
Yeah,
targeted
that's been around.
towards like myself and to my family members, like my mom and stuff. And what I've been able to kind of glean from that is that that's the next like wave that they're trying to train people up for is low code, zero code
Mm.
programming concepts to work with AI tools quickly and efficiently and kind of train up the workforce where it needs to be at that it's currently not at. I think that's what's
Mm.
like the secret little undertone that's being thrown around right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's never one shot either.
No, yeah, and that's the other thing. It's not like the AI is just magic. You have to know how to work with it.
What about
So how much time? Because we were building all these characters, and so we were actually taking customer orders. So a lot, like actually all the characters, if you go on Doujin, were like inspired by friends. I said we're gonna build a character for you this whole game, and people loved it. But how long? Like we were.
Yeah. I don't know. Like on each character,
Yeah.
it'd be a couple hours, couple days before we finally like got it right.
yeah?
For something that was
Well,
close.
well, different people had different requirements,
Oh
right?
well, yes, that was yeah. They're like, oh, well, I want glasses that look like John Lennon. I'm like, that's great, but I don't think I can get that. I mean, now, absolutely, it'd probably be no problem. But yeah, back then it was really difficult.
No, I
Yeah.
understand. I understand the feeling wanting to like
Well,
share
back
this.
then, I don't mean like 10 years
Yeah,
ago. I mean like 6 months
yeah, I
ago.
know. I know what you mean. What about your? I know you guys mentioned that your kids are already out of the house and stuff, but have you tried to get them on board with some of this stuff creatively and everything, or are they like, nah, that's stupid?
No, so my youngest is 17. He actually built the website for
Oh, nice.
musicvideoshow.ai.
Oh, nice. Well
So
done.
yeah, bizblazedigital.com. If you need a website, he's a great little web designer.
Nice.
No, they think it's just fascinating how uninterested they are. But my oldest, he's a Marines reservist, U.S. Marines, and he just transferred into UC Berkeley in the math department. And I went there and I studied computer science. And so I'm telling him, And I was so lucky with my timing because coming out of that school of computer science in 1998 was like you couldn't pick a better time, right, in the
Oh yeah.
history. But now he's there in math during this like emergence of an almost entirely new computing paradigm. Like I was listening to Dealbook's interview last week with the CEO of Nvidia, and the last question he asked was so interesting because um, it was like, as the CEO of Nvidia, how do you see this like change? And his answer got into like really a paradigm shift of how we even think about what computers are. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around like what does he mean? Because this is the CEO of Nvidia who has seen the future 5 years ago, which is why they started doing GPUs, and they've deeply integrated this tech into their entire process. Right? He talks about how much tech of the AI tech is involved in building chips. So I'm still trying to understand like, and I actually asked my son, who I said it's your job because now you're at Berkeley, like to explain to me like what does he mean by this? That it's an entirely new paradigm of computing, where it's a neural network at the core, instead of a risk chip, right? Well, do you guys have any music videos for the AI music video show this week?
Yes. Yes, I'll send you something.
Awesome.
I have a
Yeah.
few actually, so I'll send you. I've been busy recently.
Yeah, send us something to play. Actually, try out our new forum on musicvideoshow.ai.
Okay, I'll look at the form.
Hopefully, makes it a bit easier,
All right.
and also records that I have permission. That we have permission to
Yeah,
play
no
it,
problem.
because we also registered AI music video show on like everywhere, so it's everywhere.
Nice.
And on Cyber Monday, we got a subscription to Restream. Um, so once we get it dialed in, we could kind of host on that platform, other kinds of shows that are related to AI technology. Kind of the tagline we were sort of playing with was, she didn't love it, but I think it sort of captures the vibe. Tune in, tech up.
Tune in, tech up.
It's the AI music video show, because it's more, it's not just like videos back to back, right? We want to have a human element and talk
I
about the
do like
artists
the
and nice.
All right,
so
guys. Well, let's
Kevin.
say the last word for this is what are your top prediction for 2024 moving into the new year? It could be for yourself. It could be for anything.
Prediction? Well, I just want to be able to like absorb all this new technology and see where it takes me. I'm excited to see like how I grow as a person and individual using these tools. Um, I mean, I hope I'm a better person in the next year. I've learned how to use these tools to create great images and videos, just for entertainment. But yeah, I don't really have a prediction. I
It's
just I
fine.
just I'm just excited to see where we go. Like it's so hard to predict because it's changing so quickly.
Where we are at
But
right
I
now
just
is
want to.
almost going to be like a Christmas present you open next year. That's how basically, because we're kind of like ending at a point. Everything's kind of like those machines. You see with the coins, they keep pushing them, keep dropping a quarter to push those lot in. We're right.
Mhm.
Just one quarter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, so you can
That
see
one quarter
it.
you throw in is going to just, yeah. That's
Yeah.
how I'm looking at it. But
Well, we're ready for anything because we're on a boat. So if gets too crazy, I just untie
Get the hell
and
out.
we motor off.
That's amazing. I love that answer. All right. Any last words, Mr. Space Logic, before we log off for today?
the platform is yours tonight, sir.
Well,
You're the
thanks for
boss.
watching, everybody. We will be dropping a lot of description links to the website for the for the AI music video show. And if you guys are watching and want to submit, please go to the forum. I'm sure it's easy. I'll try it right now.
You guys have a good night.
All right, guys.
Yeah,
Nice meeting you.
thank you for having us. It was
No, it was
really cool to hang out with
talking
both of
to
you.
guys. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Definitely.
see you on the next show.
Yep.
Okay,
All right,
sounds
take
good.
care.
Bye.
Bye.